Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's post-game media availability with head coach Vicky Johnson. If you have any questions for Coach Johnson, please use the raise your hand feature, and we are going to go in the order that the questions are received. Following the Wings' 191 victory tonight, in addition to Coach Johnson, we will be joined by Marina Mabry, Alicia Gray, and Kayla Thornton. First, we're going to go to Ariana Vedia. Ariana, go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
In my opinion, I feel like this was almost deja vu from that Minnesota. I mean, literally, like Marina dropped 28 then, and she dropped 28 again tonight. Coming from that first game, having these two games together a day or so apart, what changes from, the first to the second?
Well, we had a chance to really watch a lot of film, make some adjustment. I think the biggest thing, we got out to a fast start. We came out the first half and we threw the first punch. We really shared the basketball. Like I said, on Wednesday, we took quick shots, long rebound, easy transition basket. We did a better job of moving the basketball. We had 23 assists. Tonight, we had 6 players in double figure. We got to the free throw line 26 times. So it was huge for us. And we move our feet. We didn't allow them to get to the free throw line, which was huge for us.
Next, we're going to go to Drew Ivory. Drew, go ahead and ask your question.
Coach VJ, what went into the decision to go small tonight? Traditionally, you've been starting Charlie lately, but went kind of small for the majority of the game, with exceptions of sometimes having, a KT, Satu, Izzy lineup. Was that just, the matchup difference, or is it something you plan to, continue with?
No, it's just something to flow of the game. Dolson is really a 4. She's a pick and pop 4. Of course, Candace Parker can swing to the 3 of the 4. I thought that they took advantage of the pick and pop a lot in transition. We wanted to be a little bit quicker. We wanted to be able to switch a lot of things and not be able to get beat off the bounce. But one thing I can tell you, our rookie, I'm so proud of them. The way they cheered us on, the way they cheered, the way they supported us. Trust me, they're going to have enough time next week to prove themselves and come out and be a big part of it, because we have Sevilla fouls and we go to New York as well. So it's just the flow of the game.
And it may seem like a trend, or it just happens to happen sometimes, but, when the other players aside from Enrique begin to get off to a good start, it seems to change the flow of y'all's game. Enrique still ends up getting hers. I mean, she's going to, it's Enrique, but the dynamic seems different when your other players get going. Izzy, Mabry, it starts off with the others.
Well, our offense is designed for everybody to get a touch and get in their comfort zone to make shots. The only thing we have to do is move the basketball and then finish shots. We made shots tonight, 53% from the 2, 55 from the 3, and 80% from the free throw line. It's about sharing the basketball. Like I said, we had 23 assists. I think that's probably the most this season. So it's important for us to move the basketball. Enrique does what she does. We learning to play with her as a whole. But make no mistake, she is the leader of this team.
Next, we're going to go to Dorothy Gentry. Dorothy, go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, Coach. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
What were some of the, big plays that you want to mention from tonight's game? That's one. And then what's next for the team as you get ready to go on the road?
I think our defense. I think moving the basketball, sharing the basketball, attacking the offensive boards, really shutting Candace Parker down the second half. That was key. And then executing the last 5 minutes on offense and defense and making our free throws, getting to the free throw line. Moving forward, we have 3 games left. We're taking 1 game at a time. It's very important for us to go to New York and start this road trip out, right? We owe New York. We're going in with a full roster. So we're going to take tomorrow off and get ready on Sunday prepare for them and then play them on Monday.
Next, we're going to go to Michelle Vopel. Michelle, go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, Coach, I was wondering if I could ask you two, please. First being, when you have a squad that's still as young as this, how big are games like this where they're able to close these games out? I mean, this kind of game could easily get away. And instead, the clutch plays, it seemed like, were made by your squad in this game. And then second, what do you think are the keys sometimes when Marina has games like this? Is that her taking advantage of certain things she sees with the defense and in terms of having some of the big scoring games she's had?
Well, I'll start with your second question with Mabry. It's huge. She gets those shots. She's a pure shooter. You know, people you don't know, but Mabry's been hurt the last 2 games. Her ankle. She felt better today. She was able to get downhill. Made 2 big threes. Her playing the one for us, moving the basketball is huge for us. So Mabry's just being Mabry. And the first question is, it's key for us being young to really close the game the last 5 minutes on the defensive side of basketball and offensive side of basketball. Execution is huge. Getting the ball in the right person's hand. Making our free throws, making shots, and then going on the other side of the ball and getting stops. You know, it was huge. We didn't get stops and allow them to get the offensive rebound to kick it out for a 3. We got stops, we got the rebound, and we slowed down and we executed, which is huge for our team. We're really focusing on the last 5 minutes of the game, execution, offensively and defensively, and making things happen instead of sitting back waiting for things to happen. This was a great team win, a great team win.
Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
Next, we're going to go back to Drew Ivory. Drew, go ahead and ask your question.
Coach, so far this season, your team has – oh, boy, can you help me, Brett? Oh, goodness. All right. So far this season, your team has been led by your offense. You know, you're a defensive coach, but your offense has been on fire all season. What is something that you've noticed with your team as the year has gone on that has pleased you the most about your defensive improvement?
Well, when it come down to it, the last 5 minutes, we actually, execute defensively. We didn't allow our defense to fall. Make no mistake, Courtney is a great offensive player. She can find players. Quigley is a great shooter. Diamond Shield is an all-star. Candace Park is a Hall of Fame. Those players can score. It's not going to be easy for us to just, stop a Candace Park or whatever. But when it came down to the last 5 minutes, we made stops. We got the rebound and we executed.
Congrats on the win, and thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions for Coach Johnson? All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us tonight, Coach Johnson. Hey, guys, if you can just hang around, we will be right back with Marina Mabry, Alicia Gray, and Kayla Thornton. Thanks, y'all. If you have any questions for KT, please use the raise your hand feature, and we're going to go in the order that the questions are received. KT, if you don't mind taking it off mute for me, that'd be great. First, we are going to go to Dorothy Gentry. Dorothy, go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, Kayla. Congrats on the win. Talk about just how you all pulled it out tonight. This time, maybe last year, we were just discussing you probably would have lost the game, but you guys stayed together. Just talk about, the execution at the end.
Yeah, I'm proud of my team. That last 5 minutes was kind of tough, with the rest and stuff like that. And I think, I tried to, as my leadership, to pull us in together. The game kind of got thick and we kind of got emotional, even myself. But I said, look, I've been down this road where we have kind of gave it to the other opponent and we lost our emotions. I said, we have to stick together. We got to finish this out. We can't depend on the rest. We can't depend on anybody but us 5. And that's what we have to do. And so I applied each and every one of them. We stuck it out on defense. We stopped who we need to stop and we got it done. And that's what matters.
Next, we're going to go. Next, we're going to go to Drew Ivory. Drew, go ahead and ask your question.
Congrats on the win.
Thank
We're
you.
trying to avoid the echo right now. Dorothy got to run away. But describe, what would you say is like, could you describe the mental makeup of this team?
Mental makeup. I would say, as far as, well, in my eyes, I think, I kind of start with that as far as leading our team. At times we kind of, get in our heads and stuff like that, but I try to let them know, look, it's bigger than us. And, can't nobody stop us when we're like this, when we're rock solid. When we start to kind of open up some, then that's when, teams can get into us. So, I just kind of tell them, look, we just got to be strong. We got to lock in. Let's focus on what we can do. And on defense, that's what we are. And our defense will carry over to our offense.
How important is the second half of this season? You guys have played a lot of road games so far and nowhere near as much at home, but you primarily have home games to finish the season. How important is it to establish yourself and get these wins at home where you guys have such a fantastic crowd, where you play your best?
Yeah. I mean, it's a blessing. Greg was telling us earlier that we kind of got our hard part of the season out the way with, on the roads for those 2 weeks and 1 week's trip. So, now like we have, I think 10 games home and 6 away. So we have to take care of our home court. Our 6-man, our fans are amazing. They help us. They drive me, especially, they give me that extra push just to, to put on a show for them, because they deserve it. And, like I said, like these last 10 games, when we come off the Olympic break, it's going to be big into the run of playoffs and getting a good seed.
You've been a joy to watch this season. Congrats on the win.
Next, we're going to go to Ariana Vedia. Ariana, go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, Katie, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
What did VJ tell you guys after this win?
She just told us way to fight, way to hold on towards the end. It was getting a little scattered and a little rough, but way to stay together, way to knock down our free throws, and way to just, get a stop on the defensive side.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions for Kayla? All right, thank you very much for joining us tonight, KT. Hey, guys, just hang in here, and we will be right back in just a second with Alicia Gray. All right, next up, we're joined by Wings guard and U.S. Olympian to be Alicia Gray. If you have any questions for Alicia, please use the raise your hand feature, and we're going to go in the order that the questions are received. First, we're going to go to Dorothy Gentry. Dorothy, question. Dorothy, can you unmute for me, please?
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now, Alicia?
Yes.
Okay, congrats on the win tonight, Alicia. Tell me how you were able to pull out off the win in the end. Just what's the difference now with this team as you get ready to go on the road? How important this win was?
Can you repeat that? You were a little choppy.
I know. I'm in the arena still. Let me move around. I just said, can you tell? Okay, can y'all hear me? Hear me now? Can you tell
Dorothy,
me how you
I got you. Just give me 1 second.
Okay.
Alicia, the question was how important this win was at home before you're about to go ahead on the road.
I mean, it's very important. You always want to win the games at home. I mean, at home is where the momentum is. The fans are behind you, and they give you the momentum to play. So it's very important to win games at home because winning on the road is hard.
Next, we're going to go to Ariana Vedia. Ariana, go ahead and ask your question.
It's gonna. We're having some technical difficulties, but Alicia, last game you said you were starting to feel like yourself again after coming out of slump, and you started to take shots you're normally taking. How did you feel starting in your? I think it's for the first time in almost 6 games.
I mean, I just play my game. I mean, whether I'm starting or coming off the bench, I'm the same Alicia Gray, the same player. I'm always going to play aggressive and play hard. So it's really no difference of me coming off bench and starting because I'm still Alicia Gray. I'm still the same player.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to go to Drew Ivory. Drew, go ahead and ask your question.
Alicia, how important has Kayla Thornton been to the team this season, not only from an on-court perspective, but off the court as well in her leadership?
I mean, Kayla Thornton, I mean, she's a great leader. I mean, a great person, a great player. I mean, she's the type of player that brings the energy on the court. I mean, she's the type of player that you don't need her to score every night. I mean, just her presence is just known. Like when she walks in the room, like you just know her presence is just there. I mean, she's a very important part of our team. She's like the X factor. Like you can tell, like when she comes in the game, like the game changes, the energy changes. I mean, I just love KT.
And talk about what the difference is in this team. You know, last season there was a lot of close games that you guys weren't able to get over the hump, but you guys are finding that rhythm and getting over that hump this season. What's been the biggest difference? Is it just experience, or is this just something that you guys have learned from last season?
It's both. I mean, you don't want to make the same mistakes you were making last season. Also, I mean, I mean, it's always the stigma of being a young team, but we're also maturing as we go throughout the season. I mean, I'm in my 5th season. I'm only 26, and I'm one of the oldest ones on the team. So, I mean, it's just maturity throughout the years. That's what I would say, maturity.
Thank you, and congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to go back to Ariana Vedia. Ariana, go ahead and ask your question.
Like Andrew said earlier, Alicia Gray, Olympian. How are you taking these last few games, to get prepared for the Olympic break?
Well, right now my focus is on the season. Whatever I'm in right now, that's my main focus. So right now I'm focused on the WNBA, the Dallas Wings, and when 3x3 and Olympics come, then I'll focus on that. But right now my focus is on the Dallas Wings and the WNBA.
Great. Do we have any other questions for Alicia? All right. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Alicia. Hey, guys, just give us a quick second. We will be back with Marina Mabry. Thanks, y'all. Raise your hand feature. First, we are going to go to Dorothy Gentry. Dorothy, go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, Marina. Congrats on the win. Talk about the discipline that the team needed down the stretch to pull out this win. I know that you all had trouble last year and even earlier this season with those last minute kind of, minutes. Talk about how you all were disciplined.
I thought that we got stops when we needed to, made our free throws. I feel like this game we locked down instead of coming apart, and that shows some great growth for us.
And then talk about your individual performance again. You're the fire for this team. Talk about what you do out there on the court and where does that come from?
I'm just a competitor. Like I just want to come out there and help my team. So just whether it be calming down and getting us into a set, or talking about the defense we're going to be in, or hitting a shot that we need, or finding my teammates. So I really just kind of try to assess what we need when I go in the game and try to and give our team a little boost.
Thank you.
Next, we are going to go to Ariana Vedia. Ariana, go ahead and ask your question.
Speaking of a boost, right before halftime, you hit that three that pretty much set the whole tone for the game. How did it feel? We saw you kind of hold up three on the follow through and then just walk away. It was pretty cool.
I was trying to make my case for 3-point competition in Vegas. That's what I was trying to do. No, really, I was just I hit a couple shots, so I wanted to kind of give my team that edge going into halftime. Like, we're winning this game no matter what. So lock down, get ready to come out for the second half.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to go to Michelle Vopel of ESPN. Michelle, go ahead and ask your question.
Marina, I was wondering if you could talk about the way you read defenses. Obviously, you've had a lot of big scoring games this season. Can you talk? You mentioned that you sort of try to figure out what the team needs, but you're seeing things defensively, I think, really well. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, first off, I think my teammates make it a lot easier for me because they're all great scorers when we're on the court. So you can't really just go after one player. So that helps me be able to kind of read the play and just not have to worry about other people's defenders. But really I try to figure out, are they pressing up on me? Are they close? If they're close, can I get quick past them and shoot a three? And I think that was good for me in horns, stuff like that. And then kind of see how they're guarding me off the initial away screens. Are they going over it? Can I curl it to get down on the smaller point guards? Things like that when I'm playing the one. Can I use my size? So, and then just our bigs and our guards being so good, I can quick give the ball up and then we're going to score. I don't need to do things myself all the time. So that makes it easier for me to kind of assess the situation as a whole.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Next, we're going to go to Drew Ivory. Drew, go ahead and ask your question.
Congrats on the win, Marina. There goes the echo. Talk about the different flows of this game. You know, it started off kind of rough for the team, but picked it up and going into halftime. And then, the Sky came back in full force in the third quarter, but you guys were able to manage that and kind of balance it out. How do you manage games like that seem like they're up and down? You know, it's a game of runs and, nobody really takes control until it comes down to the clutch moments.
Yeah. When I'm out there, I try to just kind of remind my team when they go on their runs, like they play basketball too. They're not going to just go out and let us kill them every single time. So regroup. It's okay. They made their run. Now it's about how we're going to respond and react. Are we going to get upset or are we just going to go and execute, get a stop, get the rebound? And I think that we did that really well tonight. We just need to carry that forward.
Next, we are going to go to Dorothy Gentry. Dorothy, go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, Marike. I have one. I see your shirt. That's why I called you Marike. Let me see your shirt. Can you just hold it up for me right quick? That's nice. Marina, I have to ask you this. Were you disappointed that you were not named an all-star?
I think like individual goals and things like that. Yeah. There's a couple places here and there. I feel like I could have been in that slot. But it doesn't fuel me. I want to be one of the best players that's played. So it's not going to stop me. I'm just going to keep playing, keep doing what I do and showing that next year I'm going to come out and try to do the same thing. But I feel like when you get upset about things like that, it's out of your control. It's just not going to help your game.
Thank you.
We're going to go back to Ariana Vedia. Ariana, go ahead and ask your question.
Oh, I just wanted to ask, could you post with this shirt real quick? We get a screenshot.
Oh, yeah. Can I move the camera in? Okay, I'll just stand back. This is weird. I can.
Cool. All right, thank you.
Sorry.
All right, great. Do we have any other questions for Marina? All right, well, thank you very much for joining us tonight, Marina. Just so you know now, guys, Marina is now the third leading three-point makes in the WNBA this year. So definitely on pace to be in that three-point contest. If you have a vote, make sure to go out and tell the powers that be. We will have the next 2 days off of media, y'all, but we will be back on Monday, July 5th at 5 p.m. Central, approximately an hour before the game versus the New York Liberty in New York. Thanks for joining us, y'all, and we'll see you then. Bye.